by driving an EV, you quickly learn that there's loads of easy wins that we could be making on the island, and also that there are many things that people consider to be a problem with electric cars that really are not a problem at all. The idea of having to put in special chargers at home is really not true. If you've got a 13-amp socket at home and you can get your car to it, that's absolutely fine, because your car's sitting for 10 hours overnight doing nothing. I'm campaigning to get electric charging on the ferries, because if we're going to be a really friendly destination for electric vehicle drivers, then we ought to be able to get on the boat at Heysham and charge whilst we cross. Irish ferries have been doing that since 2013, so we've got a bit of catching up to do there.
How do you go about that campaign then? Is that getting government on board?
You're part of it here today. The more we talk about it, the more we can share ideas, and the more we share ideas and practical ways of getting around challenges, then the more we can make it really, really possible. Why on an island that's 30 miles by 16 are we not 50, 60, 70% are electric traction? It's possible. We've proven that in just a year we've got 30%, and I'm guessing in a year's time I'll be talking about over 50% of our vehicles at Mountain View will be electric.
Do you think people coming over on the ferry, visitors with electric vehicles, would be put off from bringing their EVs here simply because there isn't the infrastructure widely to be able to charge them up? Or they may not be aware of what infrastructure is here?
There's some very good online apps, and the UK is streets ahead of us in electric vehicles. All the motorway network is now got fast chargers. I brought a car up from Hastings about a week ago, and had no problems at all charging it a couple of times on the way up to the ferry. On the island, we've got some good infrastructure. There's some things we still need to think more about. Sometimes one of the chargers in Ramsey has a sign saying you can only use it for 2 hours. That doesn't make sense. Cars need longer charging periods. And I think one of the charging points down in the south of the island is only open during working hours. But these things need addressing, but they can be addressed. They can be addressed relatively cheaply and easily. We do need to invest in more charging positions, and particularly where the cars are going to sit for some hours. So workplace charging makes a huge amount of sense. Mountain View, as I say, has 4 fast chargers and probably 10 slower chargers. But then we need to also address some of the tariffs that MUA charge based on the amount of power that a place might draw. We need to relax those where EV charging is why you're needing a lot of power.
Well, with businesses, I suppose that's down to each management team to make those kind of decisions. But in terms of the steam packet, have you had any response from them so far?
There have been some concerns expressed about safety. When I looked into it, apparently a self-converted electric vehicle in Scandinavia went on fire on the ferry. That wasn't compared with how many petrol cars go on fire on ferries. Just statistically, that's a big number anyway, because there's a lot of them. The issue is that Irish ferries have solved it, the Danish ferries have solved it, Brittany ferries have solved it. We own the ferry company, we ought to be able to solve it. And I don't know what is required, but we have to solve those things, because no one wants to sit for 3.5 hours on the boat and then get off and have to charge their car.